Hey guys, so this video is a message from me, an atheist, to the Christians out there who watch me because I get a lot of the same questions or comments and I kind of wanted to go through and address some of them. But before I get started, really quick, I want to tell you about this awesome new tech channel. He does everything from speed art to unboxings to cool designs, so check him out.
Hello, my name is Arthur and I'm a graphic designer. I make creative stuff and upload videos like speed arts, animations, tech videos and more. Basically whatever I want. I hope the future of my channel is going to be bright as the sun or light bulb.
The channel is called Geek Arter and he makes new videos every week, so click here or in my description box to subscribe to his channel and make sure to check out his latest video. Thanks! Okay, so back to the main topic. A lot of Christians who ask me questions, they kind of wonder why I even make videos. They think that I'm not going to convert anybody with the way that I address topics and the way that I kind of make fun of things and the approach that I take. Who I'm talking to in most of my videos are atheists who are quiet, who are in the closet, who are afraid to be open, that is who they are. I'm also talking to people who are sitting on the fence, who haven't really made up their mind. A lot of people, they're conflicted, they really don't know what to believe, and I'm able to help them kind of figure out, certain things are bullshit. So I'm not really ever trying to convert anyone who's like a strong Christian to be an atheist, because honestly that's kind of unrealistic, so that's not my goal to begin with. Another thing I hear all the time is, why can't atheists say what they need to say without being rude to Christians? Now, I'm going to answer this with a question. I hate answering questions with questions, but I'm going to do it in this case. Is there anything that we could say that wouldn't offend you? And another thing that bothers me about this is they get really pissy about me making videos, or anyone who's outspoken about atheism, whether it's writing books or any type of art or like cartoons or something. They get really offended by those types of things, but they pass these billboards every day that say, if you don't believe the way we do, you're going to go to hell and be tortured and burned for all of eternity, and that never bothers them. They only care about whenever it affects them, which I think is really narrow-minded and short-sighted, and I think that that's a huge problem. And also, they don't take into account how offensive it is to feel like I require some kind of, God or deity above me to act in a moral way. They just can't fathom. Like, a lot of times whenever I talk to Christians, they're like, where do you get your morals from? How do you do anything right? How do you be a good person without God telling you what to do? I feel like that's a huge insult to my intelligence and to my moral integrity, to think that I need a book of rules to tell me that, rape is wrong, that murder is wrong, that stealing is wrong, to just pretty much not be a dick. Like, I don't need the Bible to tell me that. I can decide that on my own, and when people don't believe that I can do that, that's really insulting. So answer my question, why are Christians so rude to atheists? The next biggest thing I hear, and I hear this all the time, is, well, not all Christians are that way, and a lot of times I hear that whenever I'm referring to things like, marriage equality, or just, discrimination against homosexuals. A lot of times people say things like, well, not all Christians believe that way, so if I make a video, for example, and I've done this so many times, defending gay rights, a lot of times I have to make religious references, because that's why we have that issue today in society, because of religion. So of course, if I make a video explaining, why people are homophobic, it's gonna relate back to religion, so I have to be critical of that aspect of religion. And then all the comments are, well, not all Christians are like that. What bothers me the most about this is you can see a problem very clearly that is a result of religion, and your first reaction to me pointing it out is the issue that I'm pointing it out. You have more of an issue that I'm saying what I'm saying than you do with the problem itself. Another question I get all the time is, why are atheists so mean and angry? I don't think that you can really conflate mean and angry, because I think that we have legitimate reasons to be angry and frustrated, and it's because of all the problems that religion causes us in our daily lives. If you're a gay person, then hey, religion's causing you a lot of problems. You have a right to be angry about that. If you're a woman and you're losing reproductive rights, you have a lot of reasons to be angry about that. If you're sending your child to a school and their education is subpar because of religion, you have a right to be angry about that. If you're a scientist and you can't do certain, you can't make certain advancements because of problems with religion, like stem cell research, you have a right to be angry about that. And that brings me to my next question. I'm just going to read my notes for a second. The next question is, why do atheists even need to talk about God? What's the point? Why do they have to talk? If they don't believe in God, why do they talk about him so much? Well, it's that kind of reason. It's because religion causes so many problems. I don't think that we're actually trying to talk about God himself. We're not talking about religion himself as much as we're talking about the way that affects society around us. And that's something that affects everyone. So that's why I talk about religion all the time, because I feel like there's so many problems that deserve to be addressed, and you can't do that if you just ignore it because, well, I don't believe in God, so I might as well not talk about anything that it ever has an effect on. That doesn't make any sense.
Alright, this video is for the most annoying group of people on the planet, and that is the internet atheists. I don't know about you, but I don't know anybody who yammers on hours on end every single day about the tooth fairy. Which one is it? Is God silly, or is God worth talking about hours on end every day of your life? Which one is it?
This is the kind of shit I'm talking about. I see people say things like this all the time. If it was the case that people oppressed gays, oppressed reproductive rights, burned witches, or became suicide bombers was because of the tooth fairy, we'd be talking about the tooth fairy. I recently saw a speech by Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he made a really great point, and by the way, I will have a link to that speech in the description below, so make sure to check it out. He said that 7% of elite scientists believe in a personal God, and then he made this point.
When you're educated, and you understand how physics works, and you're mathematically literate, and you understand data, and you understand experiment, and you go up to someone who doesn't have that training, and they are religious, and you ask them, why are you religious and believing in invisible things that influence your life? What's wrong with you? Okay? That's unfair.
After that, he went on to say that we shouldn't be too judgmental of the general public because that number is 7%, it's not 0. So until we figure out why we've got these really brilliant scientists who still believe in God and are still religious, then we really shouldn't attack people who are religious as strongly, because we should figure out the 7% first. And I agree with that to a degree, because I think that people have a hard time separating people who are religious and religion. I feel like maybe there shouldn't be such an attack on the people who are religious, because I was religious once. I mean, you're indoctrinated to be that way. It's a very difficult cycle to break, and it's something that is in the minds of a lot of people in this country and all around the world. So I don't want to be too harsh about that, because I understand, I sympathize, I was there. But criticizing religion itself, the idea, is a totally different story. There's nothing wrong with criticizing an idea. Another thing that I hear all the time is that atheists throw their beliefs in religious people's faces. We push atheism in their faces and take away their freedoms, and that's just complete bullshit. Okay, you have the freedom to believe whatever you want to believe, and honestly, no one would care if you believed what you wanted to believe without influencing everybody else, but that's just not the world we live in. What you believe in is forced onto other people, and I think that people are just so used to that happening that they don't realize that it's as big of a problem as it is.
I don't have an issue with what you do in the church. But I'm going to be up in your face if you're going to knock on my science classroom and tell me that I got to teach what you're teaching in your Sunday school, because that's when we're going to fight.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. We're upset because you're shoving shit in our face, not the other way around. Okay? And whenever you reference my YouTube videos and say that my YouTube videos are forcing my opinion down your throat, that's just not true. Because my videos are optional. You don't have to watch my video. I'm not knocking on your door, forcing you to watch my video. It's on the internet. You clicked it.
There's no tradition of scientists knocking down the Sunday school door, telling the preacher that might not necessarily be true. That's never happened. There are no scientists picketing out front of churches. There's been this coexistence forever. So to have the religious communities knocking down the science door, there's something wrong there.
I'm tired of trying to do what I think is right and having people constantly tell me that I'm an asshole for doing it, because I really believe in these things, and I feel like it's important, and it's frustrating to have people demonize you for that, just because it's something that they're used to culturally. And hopefully one day that number will decrease, and that's why I think it's really important to be open and honest about atheism, because there is power in numbers. I want to tell you really quick that I have some pretty awesome t-shirts for sale at www.jacquelineglenn.com. They're Logic t-shirts. They say really cool things like logic and fiction, and Carl Sagan is my homeboy, and just cool shit like that. And it actually really helps me out a lot when you buy those t-shirts from my website, and it helps support this channel, and it actually helps support fellow atheist bloggers out there too, like Cult of Dusty, who started the website, and I really appreciate him sponsoring me in this way. So if you could check out that website, I'll have a link in the description. Get some awesome atheist t-shirts. It would help me out a lot. Also, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it everywhere. All my other social media links are in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
There's no God, he doesn't exist, so don't try to save me, use your